I must say, I am really honored to be standing in front of you today. To the Madam Chairperson, Honorable Ministers, and His Excellency the President of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, I say to you today that greetings are the most fundamental part of each speech. So with all that being said, I would like to say to you all that good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, a wise man once said, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. Yet recently, our department has been criticized for not delivering adequate results, of which is what I am going to look at today as a newly appointed Minister of Education. There is a huge gap between our institutions, which are universities in this case and colleges, and the private sectors. So this gap recently has made it difficult for our children to find jobs after they have graduated. But to deal with this problem, I have put measures underway that will try and close this gap. Well, these measures will not need our department only, but will need our department to come together as a mediator. It will become a mediator to these two sections, the institutions and the private section, so that they can get closer into helping the children. Because what I have realized is that these people from private sectors, they do need to help other children, but they are not being approached, so they don't feel important. So as the department, we are trying to make them feel. The South African School Act, Act 24 of 1996, is aimed at ensuring that all our learners have access to quality education without discrimination. Yet as our government, we have failed to live up into this aim, because looking at the rural areas, many of our children are still suffering because they are not getting adequate resources for education, and they don't get that quality education because they are only exposed to two resources, which is the teacher and the textbook. And then even on some areas, those textbooks are not enough. And yet in the urban areas too, we get children who are still finding it difficult to get access to schools or to get an admission to schools, because of discrimination on whatsoever we call racism. So ladies and gentlemen, I have looked into this and I have decided to open a donation scheme which everyone is allowed to put something in it to make a change. And as the ruling party, we have taken some measures to make sure that in 5 years to come, at least all of our learners in public schools who have been neglected for so long, will have enough resources to get that quality education which they deserve. And then for the admission part, we have opened an online application which is far the most effective way to avoid this discrimination. In 1990 went much further in addition to the Freedom Charter law based on education, which suggests that higher education and technical training should be open to all by means of state allowances and scholarships based on their merit. Yet the student of 2016 were still fighting for the same thing, but now the time for change is here. And we have looked at how the children at the rural area struggles just to get the money to get to university, and yet when they get to university, they don't get that money which they need to pay for the university fees. So in conclusion, I would like to ask parents to be vigilant and take care of their kids, because it is really very questionable for a parent to take a child who is disabled into a school where the child will feel inferior. I mean, that is why the government has created special schools for disabled kids, whereas the kid will be there and be competitive, will never feel inferior or feel unfairly done by anyone. So it is really sad how us as parents, we don't look after our kids. Sometimes we see kids at schools where a child will come to school being weak and sick, and then you ask yourself, where are you as a parent? Where is your parent? So parents, please take care of your kids. Make sure that your kid is always healthy and your kid comes first. That's how important your kids are to us as Department of Education. For our department to get that adequate result, parents, community members, you all need to be vigilantes, like look after our children. Make sure that behavior at schools is being reinforced. Make sure that our kids come to school to learn, not to create havoc or anything which will really scare our teachers or scare other kids. So let's come together in making South African schools and a special friendly environment yet again. Thank you.